So, all right, here we go. I just had some lunch. It's about noontime. I had a nice ham sandwich with some leftover potatoes from Easter. Had a beer with lunch. And I figure I'll give you guys a little tour of everything that I've been getting done today. I planted my potatoes today, and this will be probably the third or fourth year that I've done potatoes, but the first year that I've done them in these 5-gallon buckets. And in that bag, but I'll get to that. So the way you do this, you fill up to maybe 3 or 4 inches, and then you put the potatoes with the eyes on them, the seed potatoes. You put them with the biggest eye pointing up. And then you fill to about here. You can see, you can see how it's in there. And the mixture that I use is 3/4 of that stuff there, just nature's garden soil. And I mix 1/4 with my compost. So these are the potatoes. I did potatoes in this bag too. This is an old dog food bag. I have 4 5-gallon buckets that I'm trying potatoes in this year. And they're all kind of set up the same way. These here, these are actually the bags that the soil came in, and I just cut them in half. I have probably a half a dozen onion seeds in each of those. Probably more like 8 to 10 in each of those. These here, these are my black bean seedlings, and I just transferred them today to these jars, these black jars. The reason they're on an angle like this is because that way is where the sun comes up. So I'm trying to maximize how much sun coverage they get. Everything that you see here, and my wife doesn't know this yet, so if you hear a scream emanating from the New England area, know that that's why. All of this stuff has to come in each night, and it's going to be set up on cardboard in our master bathroom because it's just not warm enough yet for this stuff to be able to stay out at night. So that's the garden, and I'm going to show you what I do in order to keep the roof of the rabbit hutch water repellent. Now, over the past 2 days, we have had well over 3 inches of rain. So you can see, there's Timothy. He's hiding in there. Can you see him? Oh, maybe that's not focusing. So Timothy's in there. Ruth is hiding. She's definitely displaying nesting behavior. So probably in a little over 3 weeks, we will be having some kits. But what I do, this is the motor oil that comes out of our vehicles. And what I do, hang on, I'm gonna put the phone down so I can get this on. Still here. Don't go away. What I do is I save that motor oil. And in here is the cup. Where is the rag? The rag is right here. And I keep a rag in here. See? Now what I'm gonna do is making sure that none of this drips all over the place. I'm gonna go right up here onto the roof. I'm going to smooth this stuff around, get the oil on there. And what this is doing, this is how we seal the floors of tool sheds. And basically what I'm doing is just working all this oil into the plywood. This is an oiled roof. And with the 3 inches of rain that we got, the inside of the rabbit hutch, with the exception of right up against the gate, which is to be expected, was dry. I didn't even have to change their bedding. I just had to take a few handfuls of the wetter Timothy hay out. And now this is not pressure treated. None of this is pressure treated because I got animals living in it and I don't want them getting chemicals in them or anything like that. And of course you're saying, well, you're rubbing the thing when you use motor oil. I'm rubbing the top of the roof in areas that they are not going to chew on it in any way, shape, or form. So what I'm doing now is basically just sealing this roof with all of the used motor oil that's come out of our vehicles and our small engines, lawnmowers, generators, things like that. And I like to try to reuse as much as I can of everything to reduce as much waste as possible. And actually, if I was going to work right now, which I can't because of the shutdown, I would be bringing this bucket of oil to work, and my boss would be very excited because he wouldn't have to go and buy used motor oil from the local. The area that we work in is, it's not an industrial park, but it's not far from being an industrial park. It's basically over by all the town offices, the town DPW and their mechanic shop and all that. And there's 3 or 4 mechanic shops. There's a septic place. There's a bunch of different places near where we work. And we're really the only place that builds sheds. But you can just squeeze it out just like that. Get some more oil on there and just move it around. And what my boss will do is he'll go over to the mechanic shops and he'll say, "Hey Herb, I'll give you some money. Give me used motor oil, and we'll rub it on the underside of the floors to seal the floors." So this is the method that I've been using. And whenever there's a heavy rain, I like to just put a new coat on here. And you can see it's just used motor oil. Squeeze it on there. And then I'll get all of the places that look like they haven't gotten a coat of oil. So this here is just about done. We get all the corners. Rub that in like that, and see? There you go. And that will dry, and it will repel water. So that's something that I do. That's how I'm keeping this, because I couldn't afford shingles, so I oiled it. I've got plenty of oil, so I'm using what I got. So, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I hope that you learned something from this. I hope that you got something from this. At the very least, I hope that wherever you are comfortable and God is with you. Thank you.